The mind's eye conjures a vivid scene. A woman stands before an open refrigerator on a busy morning, desperately trying to remember what she needs to buy at the grocery store. The items on her mental list remain frustratingly out of reach until she closes her eyes and suddenly sees a flash of yellow bananas, followed by the deep red of apples and the crisp white of milk cartons. This seemingly mundane moment illustrates a fascinating scientific phenomenon that neuroscientists have been unraveling since the early 1970s: the intricate relationship between color perception and memory function in the human brain. In 1973, Dr. Elizabeth Loftus conducted groundbreaking research at the University of Washington that would forever change our understanding of how memory works. Her experiments revealed that memories are not static recordings but malleable reconstructions influenced by numerous factors, including, surprisingly, color. Memory is not like a tape recorder, Loftus famously noted. It is more like a Wikipedia page. You can go in there and change it, but so can other people. What Loftus and subsequent researchers discovered was just the beginning of a scientific journey that would eventually reveal how deeply color and memory are intertwined in our neural architecture. This connection is not merely incidental but represents a fundamental aspect of how our brains evolved to process and store information about the world. The human visual system processes color through specialized cells called cones in the retina. We typically have 3 types of cones, each responding to different wavelengths of light roughly corresponding to red, green, and blue. This information travels along the optic nerve to the visual cortex, where the brain begins the complex task of constructing what we perceive as color. Dr. Grace Morrison, a cognitive neuroscientist at Stanford University, explains, "The fascinating thing about color perception is that it is not passive. Your brain actively constructs color experiences based on wavelengths of light, but also context, expectation, and memory. The relationship works both ways: color influences memory formation, and memory influences how we perceive color." Morrison's research, published in the Journal of Cognitive Neuroscience in 2018, used functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to observe how color and memory processing overlap in the brain. Her team found that when participants recalled colored objects, the same regions in the visual cortex lit up as when they actually viewed those colors. This phenomenon, known as neural reactivation, demonstrates how memory can trigger color perception in the absence of visual stimuli. But the relationship goes deeper. In 2011, researchers at the University of California, Berkeley, led by Dr. Robert Knight, made a discovery that stunned the scientific community. Using electroencephalography, EEG, they found that the brain processes color information approximately 21 milliseconds before it processes the shape and form of objects. This minuscule time difference suggests that color serves as a rapid processing cue that helps the brain quickly categorize what we see. Color serves as a first-pass analysis of our visual world, Knight explained in his paper published in Nature Neuroscience. It helps us rapidly distinguish between different objects and environments before we even consciously recognize what we are looking at. This finding helps explain why color has such a profound impact on memory. Our brains evolved to use color as a quick sorting mechanism. Red might signal danger or food, green might indicate vegetation and safety, blue might represent water or sky. These rapid color-based categorizations shaped how our memory systems evolved. In evolutionary terms, this makes perfect sense. Our primate ancestors developed trichromatic color vision, the ability to see red, green, and blue, approximately 30 million years ago. This adaptation likely emerged to help primates identify ripe fruits against green foliage. Those who could distinguish the red and orange hues of nutritious, ripe fruits from the green of surrounding leaves had a significant survival advantage. Dr. Craig Nielsen, an evolutionary biologist at the University of Michigan, points out, color vision and memory co-evolved as complementary systems. The ability to remember which colors signaled food, danger, or potential mates was just as important as the ability to see those colors in the first place. There was enormous selective pressure for brains that could both perceive and remember color information accurately. This evolutionary background helps explain why color has such a powerful effect on memory formation and recall. A 2015 study at the University of British Columbia found that participants were 5 to 10% better at remembering information presented in color compared to the same information in black and white. The effect was even stronger when the colors used were emotionally resonant or contextually meaningful. The mechanisms behind this phenomenon are multifaceted. First,
color serves as an additional encoding dimension for memories.
When we encounter information with color, our brains store not just the content but also the color attributes, creating a richer, more detailed memory trace with additional retrieval pathways.
Second, color activates emotional processing centers in the brain.
The amygdala, a key structure involved in emotional processing, responds differently to various colors. Red tends to trigger alertness and excitement, blue often produces calming effects, and yellow frequently elicits feelings of happiness or optimism. These emotional responses strengthen memory formation because emotionally charged information receives preferential treatment in our memory systems. Dr. James Barker of the University of Edinburgh demonstrated this effect in a 2008 study where participants viewed emotionally neutral words presented in different colors. Words shown in red were remembered 12% better than those in gray, even though participants were not explicitly told to pay attention to the colors. Barker's research, published in the journal Cognition, suggests that certain colors automatically trigger heightened attention and emotional processing.
The connection between color and memory is also evident in how we store and retrieve autobiographical memories.
When asked to recall significant life events, people often report color as a prominent feature of these memories. The blue of the ocean on a memorable vacation, the red dress worn at a graduation ceremony, or the yellow walls of a childhood home often serve as anchoring points for important personal memories.
This phenomenon has found practical applications in various fields.
Educational psychologists have developed color coding systems that enhance learning and retention. For instance, a 2019 study at Michigan State University found that students who used color-coded notes remembered 29% more content after a week compared to those who used monochrome notes.
In clinical settings, color is increasingly used as a therapeutic tool for patients with memory disorders. Dr. Amelia Thornton, a neuropsychologist at Johns Hopkins University, has pioneered the use of chromotherapy for early-stage Alzheimer's patients. Her approach uses consistent color cues to help patients navigate environments and remember daily tasks.
Preliminary results published in 2020 showed a 17% improvement in functional independence among patients using her color-based memory system.
We are essentially leveraging an ancient neural pathway, Thornton explains.
By consistently associating specific colors with particular activities or locations, we can help bypass some of the damaged memory systems and create new associations that improve daily functioning. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the color-memory relationship is how it manifests in synesthesia, a neurological condition where stimulation of one sensory pathway leads to automatic, involuntary experiences in another. Approximately 4% of the population experiences some form of synesthesia, with color-based variants being among the most common.
For people with chromesthesia, sounds trigger color perceptions. For those with grapheme color synesthesia, letters and numbers appear inherently colored.
Most relevant to our discussion is memory color synesthesia, where specific memories automatically trigger color perceptions, or conversely, where colors automatically evoke specific memories. Dr. Vilayana Ramachandran, a pioneering neuroscientist at the University of California, San Diego, has studied synesthesia extensively.
His research suggests that synesthesia results from increased neural connections between adjacent brain regions that normally process different types of information separately. Synesthetes, he notes, show us what happens when the normal boundaries between sensory processing areas become more permeable. Their experiences reveal fundamental properties of how all brains organize information. Synesthetes typically demonstrate exceptional memory abilities specifically related to their form of synesthesia.
For instance, those with grapheme color synesthesia show superior memory for text, while those with spatial sequence synesthesia, who see numerical sequences as points in space, often display remarkable mathematical memory. This enhanced memory capacity is not limited to synesthetes alone. Research from the University of Sussex in 2016 found that even non-synesthetes could improve their memory by adopting synesthetic strategies, particularly those involving color associations. Participants who were trained to associate arbitrary color patterns with information showed a 28% improvement in recall compared to control groups. The scientific understanding of the color-memory relationship has expanded dramatically in recent years with the advent of advanced neuroimaging techniques.
In 2021, researchers at MIT used optogenetics, a technique that uses light to control neurons, to identify specific neural circuits that link color processing regions with memory formation centers in the hippocampus of mouse brains. Lead researcher Dr. Susumu Tonegawa found that disrupting these circuits impaired the animal's ability to form memories associated with colored stimuli. We found direct neural pathways connecting color processing visual areas to memory-forming regions, Tonegawa explained in his publication in Science. This physical connection explains why color information is so efficiently encoded into long-term memory. These findings have profound implications for understanding human memory disorders. Conditions like Alzheimer's disease typically affect the hippocampus early in their progression, but the visual cortex often remains relatively preserved until later stages. This pattern explains why many Alzheimer's patients retain vivid memories of colors from their past even when other aspects of those memories have faded. Beyond clinical applications, the color-memory connection has significant implications for everyday life. Marketing professionals have long understood, if intuitively, that brand colors significantly impact consumer recall. A comprehensive study by the University of Loyola found that appropriate use of color increases brand recognition by up to 80% and enhances memory of advertised information by 65 to 70%. Similarly, user experience designers leverage color psychology to create more memorable digital interfaces. Research from Google's user experience team in 2017 demonstrated that strategic use of color in app interfaces improved user recall of functions by 42% and reduced learning time by nearly a third. Even our language reflects the deep connection between color and memory. We see red when angry, feel blue when sad, or experience golden moments of happiness. These color metaphors are not arbitrary but reflect how our brains naturally associate colors with emotions and memories. Dr. George Lakoff, a cognitive linguist at the University of California, Berkeley, has spent decades studying how metaphors reflect neural processes. The pervasiveness of color metaphors across cultures suggests they reflect fundamental aspects of how our brains process experience, Lakoff notes. When we say we see red, we are expressing a genuine neural connection between color perception, emotional processing, and memory systems. The color-memory relationship also exhibits fascinating cultural variations. A 2013 cross-cultural study conducted across 12 countries found that while certain color associations appear universal, such as red with danger or passion, others vary significantly by culture. These cultural differences in color associations directly impact how colors affect memory in different populations. For instance, while white is associated with purity in weddings in Western cultures, enhancing memory for wedding-related information when paired with white, in many Asian cultures, white symbolizes death and funerals. Research by Dr. Ye-Yu Ye at National Taiwan University found that Taiwanese participants showed enhanced memory for funeral-related concepts when presented in white, while American participants showed the opposite pattern. These cultural variations demonstrate that while the neural mechanisms connecting color and memory are hardwired, the specific associations that leverage these connections are largely learned through cultural exposure. The future of research in this field points toward increasingly personalized applications. Dr. Morrison's lab at Stanford is currently developing an adaptive learning system that identifies individual color memory patterns and customizes educational materials accordingly. We have found that each person has a unique color memory fingerprint, specific colors that particularly enhance their memory formation, Morrison explains. By identifying these patterns, we can potentially create personalized learning environments that maximize retention based on individual neural profiles. Early trials of this system have shown promising results, with participants demonstrating 23% better retention when material is presented in their personal memory-enhancing colors compared to control conditions. The implications extend beyond education into areas like environmental design, healthcare, and technology. Imagine hospital rooms with color schemes optimized for different types of recovery, smartphone interfaces that adjust colors based on what you need to remember, or urban spaces designed to create more memorable and navigable environments. As we reflect on the remarkable relationship between color and memory, we are reminded that our cognitive processes did not evolve in isolation but as integrated systems shaped by the demands of survival in a colorful world. The neural pathways that allow us to distinguish a ripe fruit from an unripe one, a poisonous plant from a nutritious one, or a friendly face from a threatening one rely on the seamless integration of color perception and memory.
The next time you effortlessly recall the location of your blue coffee mug or the content of notes written in pink highlighter, remember that you are experiencing the product of millions of years of neural evolution, a sophisticated system that uses color to organize, prioritize, and retrieve the vast library of experiences that constitute your memory. In this intricate dance between wavelengths of light and networks of neurons, we find not just a useful cognitive mechanism but a window into the very nature of how our minds construct reality from the raw materials of perception. The colors we see are not simply properties of the external world but active constructions of our brains, constructions intimately tied to our memories, emotions, and understanding of the world. The secret link between color and memory reveals that our inner mental life and our perception of the outer world are not separate domains but aspects of a single, integrated system, a system that evolved to help us navigate, understand, and remember the vibrantly colored world in which we live.